Parents were shocked when they found out how a fox paid them back for rescuing him. All living beings on the planet are connected to each other. While this comes in a few different forms from the symbiotic relationships and the food chain, there is nothing more special than the bond between humans and the animals they share the world with. There is none more apparent than the bond between humans and wolves or dogs. These animals are known as man's best friend. Furthermore, we also know that in all good parables, when you do good for another, you will reap good for yourself as well. This is embodied in the golden rule of do unto others as you would to yourself. But why is this the case? Why is there such a bond between humans and animals, as opposed to, say, between plants and humans? Today, the story I will be telling is about one family's good deed and the consequences of it, and a few other similar tales of how in doing good for the planet's most precious creatures is good for us humans too. Today, we will tell the tale of the fox that paid them back for rescuing him. Our first story takes us to the village of Olgara in West Bengal, India. It was here that a rampaging forest elephant crashed into a home, breaking down walls and throwing debris all around a family's home. The home almost collapsed. However, the elephant slowed its very dangerous roll when it came upon a crying baby. The elephant, alerted by the baby's cries, started picking up all the debris that had fallen upon the child and moving it out of the way to save the child. It is thought that the elephant stopped specifically because elephants are scientifically proven to respond to a herd mate. When they call out in distress, the family knew this was a true miracle. When the elephant turned around and headed back into the forest with no more commotion. An animal doesn't have to be super intuitive to be appreciative to a human companion. For instance, the graceful swan is usually seen as a superior animal that has little to do with humans. This is not the case. Richard Weiss, host of the show, born to explore, saved a swan at the Abbotsbury Swanery and experienced swan-style gratitude for himself. The swan he rescued was injured when it flew into a chain-link fence. Wise examined the swan as it wrapped its neck around his neck in a comfortable, sweet hug of thanks. Richard said of the experience, "It's a really terrific feeling when you feel that bond and mutual trust with this non-verbally communicating animal, when the animal realizes you intended no harm." As we will see, animals truly are linked in with our destiny as humans too. And now, let's turn to our amazing true story. A few years back, a family with a young daughter was driving to a cabin in a village in the countryside. They were looking forward to some fun fishing, particularly a trophy fish like a nice big salmon or trout relaxation, and some overdue family time away from the hustle and bustle of the city. The particular village the family was traveling to had a special connection to the mother, as her parents, once owned the house there, passed down from her grandparents, as is the way with many villages. As the economy changed, the village changed. Young people moved away to the cities and the town wasn't what it was in its heyday. The elders of the village still remain, and luckily there was one particular elder still around. More on that later. After stocking up on the essentials for the trip, the family set out. Much of the back roads on the way were rain swept, and it was quite rainy on the way up. Just as the daughter and mother were falling asleep amid the rainy weather, the husband stopped the car. I looked around, and amid the roads covered in mud, I saw what appeared to be a fox lying on its side. Apparently, the fox had recently been hit by a car. Anger suddenly came up as I wondered about who would hit a defenseless animal and not even stop to help it, no matter how cold, rainy, or windy it was outside. The husband and wife were dumbstruck and had no idea what to do. Would they continue on their way as many had done before? Or would they try to find help for the animal by going home where there were adequate medical services for the animal? As far as the mother knew, there was no veterinary office where they were going. Just then their daughter came out and started to stroke the head of the animal with tears in her eyes. The father let the daughter know there was nothing they could do for the fox, but the daughter insisted the mother and father help the fox. The mother and father decided the best course of action would be to take the fox to the village to see if anyone at all could help them. The father wrapped the fox in a blanket we had in the back of the car. We drove fast, but not too fast, unless they strike a similarly unfortunate animal. The fox was in a sorry state, vomiting on the way and looking at the ground with a sad look in its face. The family eventually reached the village in the afternoon. In the village square, they came upon an old-timer whose sage way about him made them think he was in the know about what to do. They inquired as to what to do, and he directed family to an elderly lady on the outskirts of the village known to be a skilled herbalist. He assured us it would be okay. The family let the herbalist know about the situation and showed her the fox as soon as they arrived at her house. She gladly agreed to examine the fox upon her table. She determined that the fox had a broken paw, injured lungs, and had even suffered a concussion. She let them know that it was good that they brought the fox to them as they were just in time. She shooed the family away and asked them to come back in 2 days while she attended to the fox. On dismissing the family, she asked that they bring clean water from the well for her. The mother and father took some water containers, filled them at the herbalist's well, and left them outside the house. It was almost as if this elderly lady knew the family was coming to see her. As she had been sitting out front when they had arrived at her house, the family drove off to their cabin. It was an uneasy night for them as they were unsure of what would happen with the fox, and on top of that, they would have to wait 2 days to find out. Once the 2 days had passed, on the morning of the 3rd day, the young girl woke up her parents at 5:00 a.m. She was anxious to get going to the herbalist's house to check on the fox. Her parents told her that it was too early to leave. However, they left just as early as they could, as this fox had quite a hold on the family's thoughts. When the family arrived at the house, the fox was resting in a wooden box with the herbalist in her house. The herbalist welcomed the family in for tea and some bread, informing them that they had arrived just in time to see the fox. The fox, although still seeming quite weak, was doing much better excited once his young friend had arrived. He waved his tail. She patted the fox. The herbalist let them know that the fox was going to get better, but could no longer remain in the wild due to these serious wounds that it suffered. The herbalist also told the family that it was fate that they had met this fox, and due to the connection between her and the young girl, they must not break that bond, or perhaps something very untoward could happen. As they were a superstitious family and animal lovers to boot, the family took this very seriously. The herbalist then dismissed them, sending the fox along with them, informing them that she had much work to do. She gave them a bag of herbs, informing them they must give the herbs to the fox each day until the bag was empty. The mother attempted to give the elderly woman some money for her trouble. However, she did not take it, insisting only on water from the spring and a promise to visit again to inform them of how the fox was doing. The family returned home, and as the girl progressed through the primary grades, the fox became a constant companion to her. The fox would faithfully wait for her each day until she burst into the house from school. The mother and father, however, were concerned with Third being with the fox, as he had started to become aggressive. The hunting instinct not totally eliminated from him. On another vacation to the village, they went to see the elderly woman, and she was so cheered to see him and how he was doing so well. The family settled into the cabin while the daughter played outside with the fox. The daughter fell, and the mother came running out to her, thinking her fear about the fox harming the child during play had come to pass. Instead, she saw what appeared to be a dead snake and the young girl unharmed. The fox had miraculously saved the girl. The girl, with a knowing look, that fox had let the mother know he would always defend the family and be part of their family for the rest of his life. The fox lived with the family many more years after that. The herbalist's words had rung true. The lives of the family and the fox were intertwined due to a very special bond. Now that you have seen the powerful effect being in harmony with animals has on humanity, you can be assured that you will always be kind to any living creature you encounter. We truly are all in the experience of living on the planet Earth together. Have you ever had an encounter where you may have saved the life of an animal? How did the experience change you? Or what did you learn from the experience? Let us know what happened in the comments. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Please also remember to hit the notification bell to be notified of whatever our newest content is available. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to showing you our next video.